secretary to the vice president and also handling the marketing activities like arranging, um, organizing conferences, seminars, managing the advertising, designing brochures. And there is a lot of work that I would do. And if I'm free, I would help other departments also. I would generate invoices for other departments. So I would never sit quiet. So I knew the functioning of every other department. I used to go to accounts and write their vouchers. So it was like I would do anything. If there is no receptionist that day, I would answer the calls. So there was no limit to what I could do in the organization. So I just utilized my time very well and learned so many skills, which is helping me to run the organization currently. And when I was diagnosed, I was working with Audi, the car company, the German car company. I was heading customer care for Karnataka and also executive assistant to the CEO of Audi Bangalore. I think my story starts from my birth. I'm the second of 4 daughters. My parents expected me to be a boy, but I turned out to be a huge disappointment when they saw me as a girl. And with that started gender discrimination. And after me, there were 2 daughters because they wanted a son. So I grew up with a lot of lack of love, support, money, and when I was in my final year diploma, that was when I was about 17 years old, I was sexually abused by my father's brother. My parents really didn't care about our well-being those days because we were girls, and I come from a very patriarchal society, so it didn't matter. So when my uncle did this to me, when I tried explaining, they were not willing to believe. And they supported him, and instead of treating me like a victim, they started treating me like a culprit. They stopped me from going to college, and they house arrested me in somebody else's place for a few months. I had lost it year, and when I came back from that place, I literally fell on my parents' feet. Um, I requested them to put me back to college because I was good at studies. I was very talented, skilled. My teachers used to love me. My classmates used to look upon me. My juniors were very proud of me. So I was that kind of a person in school, and here I was locked up at home. Literally, I was treated like a servant whole day. I used to do only housework. We were 6 of them, so there was enough work to do all the time. So when I requested my parents after falling on their feet, they agreed. And next year when I joined the classes, it was already like October or something, and I had missed a lot of classes. In November, I met with a road accident where 17 of our family members, extended family also was there. It was a road accident, and I lost my grandma, who was next to me. She was my favorite, actually. She was the one who supported me through this sexual abuse thing, and she kind of helped me get rid of my uncle. So I lost her, and I had multiple fractures. I was not able to talk because I had a right jaw fracture, and I had fractures in the legs also. So it took a year and a half to get back to normal after multiple surgeries. But I did manage to complete my final year diploma, studying in the hospital, studying after coming home after getting discharged. And I got like 2 marks less to first class, and then I did manage to get a seat in engineering, but my father left me with 2 choices. He said, I don't have enough money, so to fund your education, I can pay yours or your sisters, so you have to decide. So these were the 2 options. So I thought, okay, let me give the opportunity to my sisters, because in the future, if I get an opportunity, I'll definitely study. So right now, it's important for me to work. So I did take up my first job when I was like I had just finished my 18. I was just 18 plus, and yeah, there was workplace harassment also. I changed multiple jobs, and um, especially um, when I was working at Mitsubishi, a Japanese multinational. Suddenly one day my father committed suicide. It was very heartbreaking, And my sister, elder sister, was always, I don't know, insecure about me. She was married at that time, and um, anybody who used to come to look for alliance for her used to like me. So I think that was one of the reasons she hated me. Maybe, I don't know. But the news was spread that I was responsible for my dad's suicide because I am in love with Guru, who is my husband currently. And the news spread like wildfire, and it was very devastating for me. I mean, taking the blame of my father's death. We all knew that he had workplace issues. He was undergoing depression. He was seeing a psychiatrist and on um, antidepressants for more than a month. Still, I had to take this blame. So it was a very difficult phase for me, and um, this happened in November of 2002, and about in September 2003, I also tried committing suicide, but because I could not get over depression, and it was too much for me to handle because everybody used to look at me like I'm a murderer or somebody, So it was very difficult, and I did end up in the hospital. My adventure wasn't successful, and uh, my family and his family agreed to get us married. So after I got married, my family had decided to completely disown me, which I didn't know. Soon after my marriage, everybody stopped talking to me. It's been 18 years of marriage, and things have still not sorted out at my end. And I married with the hope that at least when I go to my in-laws' place, I will be treated, well, but it didn't happen. I was very unwelcoming there also. So my husband was already working in Bombay. I joined him there. I also started working. When I was pregnant for my first child, which was about in 2006, I moved to Bangalore again, thinking that things will change because now I'm pregnant. You know the Indian scenario. Yeah, things tend to change when you're pregnant, when you have a new member in the family. But things actually became worse because I started living with my in-laws, and there were times when um, I mean, I was treated worse than a servant. This is what I can say, and there was hardly any food. I used to cook, but there was no food on my plate, so that's how I was treated there, and there was absolutely no support from anybody, my maternal, family or my husband's side. So um, I don't know how I did manage to pass through this phase, and I was working again. I came back to Mitsubishi. My colleagues and my boss were very welcoming. They knew my workmanship. They knew how skilled I was. They really valued my association with them, and I was back. So that was a big relief because I had work and I had little money, which I could, give it to my family for financial support. And then Gagan was born, and again it was very difficult. At times I really didn't know whether I was his mother or my mother-in-law was his mother. So she took over completely when she was not able to manage him. she would put him in my lap and go, and I was clueless how to manage children. So yeah, all this happened, and when Gagan was, my son's name is Gagan, when he was around 2 years old, symptoms had already started. I was not able to hold small things like earrings and all. I used to drop it off from my hands, and in the kitchen, I would not be able to hold hot things and drop it off on the ground, which was quite risky. And when I started walking, if my destination is somewhere, if I have to go straight, I would end up walking, diagonally. And I couldn't comprehend why it was happening. And when I used to climb down the stairs, I would miss a step, and I used to always feel like falling, and I did fall a couple of times also. So yeah, so um, and then one day we did all the MRIs and blood tests and whatever is required. I showed to a neurologist, but nothing came out in the test initially. But suddenly one day, this was October 26th, 2009. It was a day before my wedding anniversary. So that was the day, and I was feeling slightly feverish in the morning, and I took a paracetamol thinking I should be okay, but by 3 o'clock I was neck down paralyzed. Somehow I tried getting up from the bed, and just like a stick without any support, I fell on the ground multiple times. And I did manage to reach out to the phone crawling, and I called my husband. We went to the local hospital. Doctors were not able to, guess what was happening. So I was referred to a bigger hospital, and when I went there, I got admitted for 5 days. And doctors were not willing to even show me the reports. We sneaked into the reports, and it said multiple sclerosis. I didn't know the spelling, how to spell it, and all. So we Googled what it was. It said multiple sclerosis is a disease of central nervous system which affects the brain and spinal cord and leaves the person completely disabled. And I had started actually working. I mean, I was financially independent from the age of 14. I used to take tuitions. I used to make art and craft and sell it and make money for my education, for my needs. So when I was so financially independent at 14, and at 28, I'm dependent on somebody even to go to loo, even to eat. It was quite devastating. All my professional aspirations, personal dreams were shattered. There was a huge question mark whether this condition is going to remain like this forever, or is there a cure, or what is it? There was nobody to guide me in the right direction. And my son came to the hospital. He was so scared looking at all the tubes connected, and um, I started thinking, what about this guy's future? I gave birth to him. So I'm responsible for a life. So how am I going to manage him? Because he was a very difficult child. He was very naughty, but very intelligent. But how am I going to manage this child with this kind of disability, with having no family support, moral support whatsoever? So, yeah, these were the questions which were haunting me. But there was support from my husband. Um, I felt I should give life another chance, um, because my husband and my son do not have any thing to do with my disease. There was no contribution from them. So I did give life another chance, and here I am today speaking to you. Yeah. They are Brahmins and I'm not. So that caste discrimination was always there at home. So don't touch this, don't touch that, You know nothing about our culture, our tradition and all that. But after going into their family, I changed my name. I changed everything about me. I learned their style of cooking, their way. I mean, I learned their language. My children are brought up according to their family values. So 2 years after the diagnosis, in 2011, I gave birth to another daughter. Her name is Ghana, and she is 11, going to be 11 now this year. See, he also comes from a very patriarchal mindset. So post my diagnosis, he was definitely supportive. Before that, I can't say that he was supportive enough. Even when I go to functions now in their family, I'm an outcast always. Now I'm since completely disabled. I'm sitting, I'm by myself. So when I was fine, so they wouldn't allow me in anybody's kitchen. To whosoever house I go, they wouldn't allow me to go into anybody's kitchen. I was not allowed in our own kitchen in my in-laws' place. And before I gave birth to my son, I was not allowed. Only after I gave birth, they felt like, okay, she's part of the family now because she has, हमारे घर का chirag she has given, so I'm part of the family now. Before that, no, even if I need water, I have to ask. So I was not allowed into the kitchen. Yeah, see, for him, it was like, I can understand from his viewpoint that he kind of felt helpless, I think, sandwiched between mother and wife. He was my neighbor.
Okay. So, do your family continue to be neighbors?
See, now since we have moved to Coimbatore and my mom still stays in Bangalore, so we are not neighbors anymore. No. My mom would see me on the road, she would just change her direction, and she would avoid me. In fact, my elder sister, my Mausi, my cousins, everybody used to stay in the same locality. But everybody saw me coming on the road, they would just try avoiding me. Like, even if they see, they will behave like they haven't seen me. Even that was very controversial because whatever salary, little bit of salary I got, like my first job was, I was getting 2,000 rupees. In that, I will keep 200 for myself, and in 1,800, I have to divide equally between mother and father. So if I don't give it to both of them will get angry. They will not talk to me. Like my mother wouldn't talk to me for 6 months. One particular month, my health was not okay, and I needed money for my medicines, and that's why I was not able to give the money. So she didn't talk to me for 6 months. One day I could not make her coffee after she came from work. She didn't talk to me for 3 months. So it was like I don't know now if I think it is very silly, but that time it was very, very serious for me because she's talking to the rest of the sisters, and just that discrimination was so evident always. Because I was very gullible, naive, and very submissive in nature earlier. My elder sister was very favorite of my mother. She wouldn't let her do anything. And I wouldn't let my younger sisters do anything because I was so fond of them. I, in fact, used to treat my younger sisters like my own children. So I always used to think whatever I am going through, my sisters shouldn't face it. Exactly what happened was I was supposed to attend a meeting, and my husband had taken the car to his work. So I had to book a taxi that day. I was going with my caregiver. She was also a small girl, about less than 5 feet height, or less than 50 kilos in weight. So both of us were waiting for the cab, and this guy said he will not keep my wheelchair inside the cab because it will get dirty. So I was like, at least you keep it in the boot. He said, I will not keep it. It doesn't fit. I said, keep it on the luggage rack. He said, if you want to keep it, you keep it. I'm not going to help. I'm not your porter. So I was not in a position to keep. My maid also, the caregiver, since she was a young girl, she didn't have the energy to keep it. So I started fighting with the driver and ended up crying that people like me who have a voice for themselves face this kind of discrimination. What happens to people who cannot speak up for themselves? How do they travel? And we did a little bit of research and realized that nobody actually travels. They don't have a social life because there is no such traveling solution unless you have your own car. Even getting inside your own car for people with disabilities, it's quite a challenging task. So when I discussed this with my husband, uh, he said, see, if it's a problem, it means it's a way to find a solution. It's an opportunity to find a solution. So if there is no such facility right now, let us find a solution for this. And he came up with designs and we did a lot of, because there was no prototype available in India at that time. We came up with our own solutions and we did a lot of trial and error. And in 2016, we started Tamil Nadu's first taxi service for people with disabilities and senior citizens. So this van comes with foldable ramp, chemical toilet, wash basin, sofa cum bed, hot water, television, and other services so that people like us can travel with dignity and comfort. So it's a quite it's a huge success now. It's overbooked most of the times, and people are loving it because you have three options. The person on wheelchair can sit on his wheelchair and travel, or he can shift to the passenger seat and travel, or if he's feeling tired, if he wants to lie down and travel, there is that option also, and then they can watch TV and then travel. So there are huge options available there. So people use it for intercity, intrastate, and it's traveled to 5 states now. It's gone as far as Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, downside, down south Kerala, then Karnataka, etc. So it's in huge demand. So yeah, it's a 9-seater Tata Winger. So at least 5 people can travel. I wake up at say 5:30, do my meditation. I mean, my children have never seen me coming out of the bedroom without taking bath. So they've always seen me fresh in all these years. So no matter how ill I am, how tired I am, I always ensure that I, have my bath only then step out of my room. So that kind of gives me positivity, early in the morning. Then I do pranayama and meditation for some time, and after having breakfast, I start doing my work. Then I rest for a while, and then go to office in the afternoon. On the days, every alternate day I have my physiotherapy. So 2 to 3 hours I spend on that. So those days I don't do any office work. So I try to go to office in the afternoons, and evening when I'm back again, I do a little bit of breathing exercises or meditation, and have dinner at 6:30. Sleep like 9:30, 10. So that is my schedule, and I have fruits with some breakfast in the morning. Afternoons, it's salads or boiled vegetables with some millets. Night, it is only some rice, little bit of rice, some mixed rice. So it's like that. My diet is very, very simple, and I feed myself with positive thoughts. Meditation gives a different perspective to life, helps me balance my emotions. um, I do get angry and frustrated because of my condition, but yeah, see, most of the times I also feel helpless. Um, I need to depend on people to give me water, to do even smallest thing, my children fall in front of me and I just can't go and hug them. They fall sick and I can't hug them. I can't be next to them because mine is an autoimmune disease. So today my son and daughter both have cold, but I can't go near them just to ask them how they are feeling. Because if I catch cold, then if my condition deteriorates, it's irreversible. So it's a very tricky situation. So I have to deal with this kind of confusing situations all the time, whether to do or not do. Yeah. Yeah. So we started the Swarga Foundation, a public charitable trust, in October 2014 to improve the lives of those affected with neuromuscular disorders and other disabilities. So initially, we started helping patients with their monthly medicines, helping them with hospitalization costs, providing them mobility aids like wheelchairs, walkers, hearing aids, sponsoring children with special needs with their education. Slowly, we started making the city accessible. Like we made a railway station in Coimbatore, police commissioners in office in Coimbatore, and 10 government schools in Coimbatore wheelchair friendly by providing ramps and wheelchair friendly toilets. And during COVID, we also started giving out oxygen concentrators to the patient, doing door delivery to them. We also started renting out equipments like patient beds, CPAP, BPAP machine, BP machine, wheelchairs, walkers, etc. And we started various other programs, like one of them is called Twinkle in a Wrinkle, where we have adopted 5 senior citizen homes where there are about 165 inmates. These senior citizens are those people who are abandoned by their families and picked up by the corporation, municipal corporation, and placed in these homes. So we provide them with medicinal support and also physiotherapy and group exercise sessions once a week. And we have this new project called Suraksha, uh, care home delivered, where we visit the house of the person with disability. We provide them with services like catheter changing, food tube changing, bed sore management, any other medical help they need. So all this is done free of cost. A team of doctor, nurse, physiotherapist, and psychologist visit them. We also have online consultation for all the patients who cannot come to our clinic. And Saukhya Pain Rehab Clinics was started in November 2018 in order to provide free rehabilitation to the patients. So we provide free physiotherapy, Ayurveda services, and counseling to all the patients. Till now, we have provided more than 8,000 therapies to patients. So I have seen patients who have come to our clinic who are not able to walk or talk and left with excellent speech and able to manage their own lives independently, who are able to walk again. So yeah, there are many miraculous stories I have come across. So there's this very satisfying and fulfilling journey. See, what happens is for any person with a neurological condition, the therapy is lifelong. For example, I have been taking physiotherapy from last 6 years, and I have to take it till I'm alive. So I can't stop it. If I stop it, then my quality of life will be hampered. So the number of patients, I don't have the numbers right now. But we have given more than 8,000 therapies till now. Limited edition. Like they say, I'm not just special, I'm limited edition. Like they call us with different names, physically challenged, uh, physically handicapped, um, Divyang, special, all that. So I always tell people that I'm not just special, I'm limited edition. So I think that's my tagline. Even day before yesterday, I was a showstopper in a fashion show here, organized in Coimbatore. Yeah, I participated in Mrs. Coimbatore beauty pageant in 2018. So I was, when I called the organizers, I told them that, see, look, I'm on wheelchair. This is meant for those able-bodied individuals. So will it be a problem? So organizers were very happy to take me in. I participated and I ended up being one of the 5 finalists in the beauty pageant, and I won the title Mrs. Confidence. And thereafter, I was invited to participate in Mrs. India Beauty Pageant South, which was held in Goa. And after I went there, a lot of participants were very unhappy seeing me there because their concerns were very relevant. They said she cannot do a ramp walk. How can she participate in a beauty pageant? I told the organizers one thing. If you want to judge anybody's beauty by how they walk, you should actually organize a marathon and see how and give the crown to them who walks longer and faster. Then you should never have beauty pageants. And how can you judge anybody's beauty by how they walk or how tall they are or the texture of their hair or the complexion of their skin? Everybody's beauty comes with, their character, their attitude, the truthfulness to accept their flaws and the courage to deal with adversities. So I was included in the beauty pageant, and I also wanted to add glamour to disability because once you sit on the wheelchair, it is like only garnering sympathy from everybody. I didn't want that. I knew that once anybody sits on the wheelchair, automatically eyes will go there on that person. So I wanted to, okay, I know that, okay, anybody, anywhere, people are going to look at me no matter what. So why not dress up well and say, instead of saying pavam or bechari, let them say wow. So that's what I wanted to add, and people were actually looking at me now, like, who's this beautiful person sitting on the wheelchair? It was like very attractive because I had never seen somebody like that on wheelchair with so much attitude and all that. So I did manage to win the beauty pageant, and I was the first runner-up. And in the online voting campaign, I also came first, and I got the title Mrs. Popular. So this was about the beauty pageant. Thereafter, I was invited to the Chennai fashion show, Chennai Fashion Week as one of the models. And day before yesterday, also I was invited to be a showstopper, um, where I was leading the able-bodied models. At the age of 42, having 2 grown-up children, me being showstopper, competing against young girls who have slim figure, I think this is one of the achievements. Yeah. So apart from singing, I also write short stories. Some of them have been published on online forums, and some of them in others' books. And I'm a photographer. I have done photography for I'm Special Calendar series. I've shot many videos, and I've won a prize from CBM International. I went to Delhi to collect my prize. I can speak more than 10 languages. I can write more than 6 languages. Yeah, I think there are so many things that I can still do. Like I can give like you said, flawless smile. I don't need help to think on my own. I do need help in everything that I do, physical help, but I don't need help to make wise decisions. I don't need to, I don't need help to stand up for myself anymore. So, I also believe that, for example, my daughter has never seen me walk. So, I can't tell you how important it is for me to walk, but for me, moving forward in life is much more important than walking. So, I know for a fact that I was not able to speak up for a long time. My speech also had got affected for some time because of the disease. But I think now speaking up for myself is more important than anything else. So yeah, I had lost vision for some time because of the disease. But I feel that having vision in life is more important than anything else now. Right? So these are the few things I wanted to sum up with.